In today's video, we're going to be creating this interactive sales dashboard in Excel. I already have the dataset open to begin our tutorial. The link for this dataset will be in the description box below. So what we have is receipt ID, we have purchase date, store name, city, state, so on and so forth. We don't need to go through all of them, but yeah, this is the dataset. The first thing we're going to do is create a table. So I'm going to select this cell, hold Ctrl and Shift and the left key and then the down key to select the entire dataset. Go to insert and we're going to insert a table, and just make sure that my table has headers is selected, and I'm going to click on OK, and we've created our table. Now we can go on to create our KPIs and also our charts. The first thing we're going to do is our KPIs. I'm just going to rename this sheet KPIs like this. Let's create a pivot table. So I'm going to select any cell, go to insert pivot table, and I'm going to reference our table, but let me just show you how to do it if you want to select the data set itself. So select the first cell. I'll use Ctrl Shift left and then down, and you can see that the name of our table is table 1. So from this time forward, I'll just reference our table, and I'm just going to click on OK. The first KPI is going to be total sales, so I'm just going to come over here and add sales to values, and we have this which is showing our sum of sales. Now we're going to do this again so that we can get the average sale. So I want to see how much is sold at any particular, let me say, order or so. And I'm going to select this drop down here, and we're going to click on value field settings, select average, and I'm going to click on OK, and we have the average of sales. Next, let's see the average discount. I'm going to bring this down here, and we have average of discount, but we want to see the average discount, not the sum, and want to see it in percentage. So what I'm going to do is come here, and I'm going to select this drop down once again, value field settings, average, click on OK. While this is selected, come over to home, and we're going to make it a percentage, which is 10%. Maybe we can add, let's see, 2 decimal places, just make it more interesting. So the average discount is 10.21%. And then finally, let's look at the total profit, and I'm just going to grab this, and we have showing here a sum of profit. The total profit is $194. So what I'm going to do is select all of these cells, or we could just do it one by one just to make it easier. So let me select this two, just change this to United States dollar, and this one too as well, dollars. So the total sales is $1.4,617. we have total profit as 194,000, and we have the average discount of 10.21%, and the average sale per transaction is $2,821. Let's move on to the next item, which is also going to be the first chart. So I'm just going to create a new sheet, and I'm going to name this sales by store. Select any cell, go to insert pivot table, and we're going to reference table 1. Now we're going to grab store name, add that to rows, and we're going to get sales. Let me see. All right, we'll get sales, and we'll add that to values. Now let's remove the grand total. Select the grand total, right click, and we're going to remove grand total. Select this drop down here so we can filter our values, and go to more sort options, select descending, and we're going to select sum of sales. Click on OK, and this is what we have. Now I'm going to select this value, so use Ctrl Shift down to select all the values, go to home, and then select dollars. Now while your pivot table is selected, go to insert, and we're going to insert a clustered column chart. Well, we're going to come over here, right click and hide all field buttons on chart. Let's select the title and I'm going to select everything and we're going to change this to sales by store. Now let's right click on the chart and we're going to open field format chart area. Let's delete this, we don't need it. We'll just delete the legend. Go to border and then select white for the border color and then select rounded corners. Let's now select the bars and come over to series options, make the gap width 100. Let's go back to fill. I'm going to select fill and select more colors. We're going to use this color, which is 3056 DC, and I'm going to click on enter. Finally, let's reduce the number of decimal places here. So I'm going to select this axis and this dialog should come up. So go over to axis options and I'm going to go to number and we are going to reduce the number of decimal places to 0. And yeah, this is the sales by store chart. Let's move on to the next chart, which is going to be profit by state. So we're going to create a new sheet and I'm going to name this profit by state. Now select any cell, go to insert pivot table and I'm going to name this table 1. Let's scroll down, let's find states and I'm going to bring states to rows and I'm going to grab profits. We're going to have profits in values and then I want to separate this particular table into category. So it's going to be profit by state divided. We're going to have a clustered bar chart where we have this divided in terms of category, and I'm going to add this to columns. So I'm going to select the grand total and I'm going to right click and I'm going to remove grand total. Next, let's select all these values using Ctrl Shift, right arrow key and the down arrow key, and we can change this to a currency. So let's say let me remove this one as well. Let's sort this in terms of, we can either sort here or here. So I'm going to select this. Let's go to more sort options, descending, and we're going to do sum of profits. Click on OK. Now we sorted our profits from highest to lowest. Let's go ahead and plot our charts. So just select anywhere on your pivot table, insert, and I'm going to use this stacked column chart, not a clustered bar chart. Okay, let me bring this over here. Let's right click here, hide all fill buttons on charts, go to chart elements here, and then we're going to select chart title and let's select the entire thing, and this is going to be profit by state. Next, let's right click this and we're going to format chart area. Let's start with the border. Change the border color to white and scroll down and we're going to select rounded corners. Now let's start with this series. So select this first option. I'm just going to scroll up here and go to fill. Let's start with this first color. So go to more colors and I'm going to change this to 994010. Let's move on to this one. Change the color, go to more colors. We're going to change this to 1E7 C4 D3. Okay, let's do the same for this one. More colors, and this will be F3 671A, like this, so it's not really that different from what we already have. And then select this color, and we're going to use the original color we used for the first chart. We're going to use this one. While these bars are selected, just come over to this series options and change the gap width to 100. Let's select this. Now you should have these options. Come over to axis options, select number, and reduce the decimal places to 0. Okay, so this is what this chart looks like, and yeah, this is the profit by state chart. Let's move on to the next chart, which is going to be the sales trend. So create a new sheet and name this sales trend. Select any cell, go to insert, and we're going to insert a pivot table, and we're going to reference table 1. Let's go over here. We're going to use the dates, purchase dates column, and we are going to add sales to values. Now you can either do it here or do it here, so I'm just going to deselect quarters, and I'll just expand this here like this. Now let's remove this purchase date in this option. So what you're going to have is years and months, just years and months. So select the grand total, right click, remove grand total. Now select let's change all of this to dollars. So I'm going to use Control Shift down to select everything. Go to home, and we're going to select this currency. Next, as your pivot table is selected, just go to insert, and we're going to use a line chart here. So we have our data set essentially is just 1 year, but it's from June of 2024 to June of 2025. Now let's right click here, hide all field buttons on charts, and I'm going to select this, and I'm going to change this to sales trend. Right click on the charts area, and we're going to format chart area. Let me delete this legend, we don't need it. So let's change the border, go to border, go to lines, change the color of the line to white, and select rounded corners. Next, you can just select this line, and we are going to change the color of the line to this blue color. Now let's go to marker here. Let's select marker options, and I'm just going to select this one. This is the one I want to use, just leave it as default. And then for fill, I'm going to change the fill color to this orange color. Oh, it has a border, I don't want a border, so let me go back and change it. So select the line so you can get the options. Now back, go to marker, I want to go to marker options, go to border, and we're going to select none. You can leave the border if you want to, but I don't want it in my chart. Now select this axis, and then go to axis options. We're going to go to number and change the number of decimal places to 0. And yeah, that's the sales trend for data. The next item is going to be the profit by category. So I'm just going to create a new sheet, sorry, and I'm going to rename this profit by category. Select any cell, go to insert pivot table, and we're going to reference table 1. Now let's grab the category, and I'm going to grab profits and add that to values. Okay, select the grand total, right click, and we're going to remove grand total. Now select this drop down, go to more sort options, select descending, and we're going to use sum of profits to filter data. So this is what it looks like. Use Ctrl Shift and the down arrow key to select everything, then change the currency to dollars. Now go to insert, we're going to go to charts, and we're going to use this clustered column chart. Come over here, right click, hide all field buttons on charts, select this title, we're going to change this to profits by category. Let's select this legend, and we can just delete it. Now select this bar, let's change the fill to that blue color and go to series options, change the gap width to 100%. Let's format our entire chart area. So under fill, go to border, change the color of the border to white, and then select rounded corners. Select this axis, come over to axis options, select number, and reduce the number of decimal places to 0. So this is what our profits by category looks like. Next, let's insert some slicer. So we can just either go to insert, or we could even do it in the other here. So you can do it here, or you can just go straight over to insert, and we're going to insert a slicer. So we want to insert 2 slicers, which is going to be customer segment and state. So select this one and state this one, and I'm going to click on OK. Let me select these two, and I'm just going to move them over to this side. Now come over to the slicer tab, right click, and we're going to duplicate, and it's going to give you this dialog. So we're not going to change name, just leave it as it is. Select whole slicer, and we are going to format. We're going to come over to fill. So I want to change the fill of the entire slicer. So go to more colors, custom, and we are going to use F3 671A as the fill for entire slicer. Then come over to border, and we're going to select none. Okay, and for the header, we're going to format this border, select none, click on OK. Now selected item with data, format, we're going to go to fill and select more colors. We're going to change this to 3056 DC. OK, and we're going to click on OK. So now click on OK again. So now when we select this option, this is what your slicer should look like. You know what, I'm not liking this. Really, there's not much contrast between the blue and the black text, so let me just modify it. So I'm going to right click, modify, selected item with data, format, come over to font, and under color here I'm going to select white, click on OK. Okay, now this actually looks much more better to me. If you prefer the other one, you can do it. I'm going to select this one and select this option for our slicer. And yeah, that's just the profits by category, and for now it's only this particular slicer is only connected to this chart, but when we create our dashboard, we will now report connection, so it will affect the other charts as well. Next, let's move on to the payment method distribution. So create a new sheet, and I'm going to rename this payment method distribution. So come to any cell, I'm going to go to insert pivot table, and I'm going to reference table 1. Just in case you've noticed that I say select any cell and I'm always using B2. It's just a habit. I just like putting my pivot tables on cell B2. There's no specific reason for it. That's just how I like doing it. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab payment method, add that to rows, and I'm going to use, let's say, sales. Depending on what you're going for, either quantity, profit, whatever it is you want to use, you can use anything, but I'm going to use sales this time. And I'm just going to remove the grand total. So right click and remove grand total. Control Shift and the down arrow key to select all the values. Go to home, and then we're going to select dollars. Next, let's go to insert, and we're going to select a pie chart. Specifically, we're going to use a donut chart. Let's come over here, right click, and we're going to remove hide all field labels, hide all field buttons on charts. Next, let's change the title of this chart to payments method distribution. Like this. Now right click and we are going to format chart area. So under border, change the border to white and scroll down, select rounded corners. Now come back to this chart area, select this, and we're going to select data labels. Come over here, select that arrow, and then go to more options. Come over to label options, and we're going to select percentage, and we're going to remove value. Next, while this is selected, let's come over to home, all the values, make it bold, and then change the color of the text to white. Now let's select the donut itself. Come over to these series options, and under donut hole size, make it 50%. Now select this one twice, so you're selecting only bank transfer. Come to fill and expand fill. We're going to change this to this color. This one is going to be the orange color. This green one is going to be this blue, and finally we have this, which is online payments, and this is going to be this brown color. So yeah, this is the payment method distribution chart. Let's move on to the next chart, which is going to be sales by city. So I'm going to create a new worksheet, and I'm going to name this sales by city. Select any cell, go to insert, and we're going to select pivot table, reference table 1. Now we're going to grab city, add that to rows, and we're going to grab sales, add that to values, and select this drop down, go to more sorts options, select descending, and we're going to use sum of sales. Click on OK. So we have a lot of cities here. Let's limit it to the top 10. So select this drop down again, go to value filters, and we're going to select top 10. There's no need to change anything. This is what it should look like, and I'm going to click on OK. Select the grand total, right click, remove grand total. So this is the top 10 highest sales by city. So I'm going to use Control Shift and down to select all these values, and we can select dollars as currency, so we can have this in currency. Now go to insert. We're going to select this chart, and we're going to use a clustered column chart, and we're going to right click here, hide all field buttons on chart, select the title, and this is going to be sales by city. Let's close this one. Now go to border, change the border color to white and scroll down, and we're going to select rounded corners. Select the bars, go to fill, we're going to change the fill color to this blue color. Come to series options, and we're going to change the gap width to 100%. Let's select this total and delete it. Finally, select this axis, come over to axis options, expand number, and we're going to reduce the decimal places to 0. And yeah, that's the sales by city chart. Let's move on to the next chart, which is going to be sales by subcategory. So I'm going to create a new sheet, and we're going to name this sales by subcategory. Now go over to select any cell, insert, and we're going to select pivot table, and we're going to reference table 1. And I'm just going to get subcategory, add it to rows, and bring sales to values. Select grand total, right click, and we're going to remove grand total. Select this filter here. We're going to go to more sort options, select descending, and we are going to do sum of sales. Click on OK. Let's select everything using Ctrl Shift and down, and I'm going to come over to currency, and we're going to select this one. Go to insert chart, and we're going to select this clustered column chart. Let's come over here, right click, and we're going to hide all field buttons on chart. Let's change the title to sales by sub category. Okay, let me close this. Now I'm going to come over to this format chart area. Under fill, let's change this. Let's go to border, change the color to white, and we are going to select rounded corners. Now let's select these bars, come over to fill, and we're going to use this color. Come over to series options, change the gap width to 100%. Let me select this legend and just delete it. Select this axis, come over here to axis options, select numbers, and we're going to reduce the decimal places to 0. And yeah, that's the sales by subcategory chart. Let's move on to the final chart, which is going to be sales by region. So create a new worksheet, and this is going to be sales by region. And select any cell. We're going to insert, and I'm going to select pivot table. Let's reference table 1. Let's grab region, put region in rows, and we're going to go to sales and add sales to values. I'm going to select grand total and just remove grand total. I also want to separate this into separate it by category. So go to category, add category to columns. Now I'm just going to select this, Ctrl Shift, the left arrow key, and then down so I can select everything. And we're going to change this currency to dollars. While this pivot table is selected, go to insert. We're going to select this clustered column chart here. Let's select this, right click, and hide all field buttons on chart. And I'm going to, let me move this a little bit so I'll have a little bit more space. So select chart elements, and we're going to select chart title. Let's change the chart title to sales by region. I'm going to close this. Let's go over to border, change the color of the border to white, and we're going to scroll down, and we're going to select rounded corners. Next, let's select this first item. I'm going to go to fill. We're going to use this color for this one. This orange color, we're going to change it to this. The one for groceries, change it to this color. And then finally, we're going to change this one to this brown color. Select the bars again and come over any of them, go to series options, and we're going to change the gap width to 200%. And select this axis, come over to axis options, number, and we're going to reduce the number of decimal places to 0. And yeah, that's the sales by region and also the final chart for our data set. Now we can go on to build our dashboard. What I like to do is go back to our data set, and I'm going to create a new sheet. So I'm going to create a new sheet, and then I'm going to rename this as dashboard, and then I'm going to bring it here. So whenever you open this particular Excel file, the first thing you're going to see is the dashboard, similar to what you have in Power BI. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to reduce the zoom to 80%. Now let's go over to insert, illustrations, shapes, and I'm going to select a rectangle, and I'm just going to draw one here. Go to shape fill, more fill colors, and I'm going to change this to FFF 1E9. Click on OK. Go to outline, select no outline, and I'm just going to put it on the top left corner. Next, let's go to the dimensions. Change the height to 22.65, and the width is going to be 35.75, and we have this. Next, let's insert a rectangle. So go to insert, illustrations, shapes, and I'm going to use a rounded corners rectangle, and I'm just going to have it around here. Go to shape fill, change the color to white, and we're going to select no outline. I'm going to change the height to 1.9, and the width is going to be 35.25, and I'm just going to place it right around here. I'll select it, and then this larger rectangle, go to align, align center, and let me just move it up using my arrow key. Okay, let's go to insert, illustrations, shapes, and I'm going to insert a text. So I'm going to draw a text box here, and I'm going to write a dashboard title, which is the retail store sales dashboard. Okay, now select the entire text box. Let's change the alignment here to middle, and we're going to change the size of this text to 36. Let me increase the height and also the width of this. Now go to shape format, go to fill, select no fill, and select no outline. And I'm just going to bring this here. Now I'm going to select, while this text box is selected, I'll just select it, and then this rectangle, go to align and align middle. And yeah, I'm just going to move this a little bit to the right so it's not so close to the edge. Alright, let's go to insert, and we're going to go to illustrations, shapes, and we're going to select a text box. Let's start around here. And in this box, I'm just going to type in total sales, and I'm going to change the size of this font to 10, change the alignment to middle and also center. Go to shape format, shape fill, we're going to select no fill, shape outline is going to be no outline. Let me just increase it a bit, and I'm going to create a copy of this text box using Control and Shift to keep it aligned. For this text box, we're going to reference our KPI that we want to get here. So I'm going to select this, clear it, and then come over here, use the equal sign, and then we'll go to the KPIs. We're going to select total sales and then click on enter, and we have our total sales here. I'm just going to, while the text box is selected, let's change this to the size of the text to 16. Let me increase it so we have all our text. Okay, so this is what this particular KPI looks like for now. So I'm just going to move it a bit to this side. Let me go to shape format. Let me align it to the middle, align center rather, so I can create copies, and we can use this two text boxes to create the remaining KPIs. So Control and Shift, so we can keep things aligned, create one more copy. We're going to do this 3 times so that we can have 3 copies for our other KPIs. Let's start with this one. This is going to be total profit, and same thing here. I'm going to clear this bar here, and we're going to reference the total profits, enter. While the text box is selected, let's change this to 16. This next one is going to be the average discount, and select this bottom one, clear this formula bar here, and we're going to reference the average discount and change the size to 16. Finally, we have this one, and this is going to be average order value. Come to this bottom one, clear this formula bar, and we're going to go to KPIs, select this one, and we have our average order value. Let's change the size to 16. Now I'm just going to select these two, right click, I'm having issues, right click and then group. Same with these two, right click and group. Let's now do the same for this one, right click, group, and then finally, I'm going to group this as well. I'm just going to kind of eyeball things and just move this, all of this to the right like this. Just give it a bit of spacing in between each one. Okay, that's our KPIs for this particular data set. If you want to change things, you can, but for now this is what we have. Now let's go in and grab our charts. So let's start with sales by store. I'm going to copy this one, copy it, select that, copy it, come back to our dashboard, and I'm just going to paste it here. I'm going to go to profit by state, copy it, and paste. Next, I'm going to go to sales trend, copy it, and paste. Now let me just scroll down. Let me go to profit by category, and we're also going to select the slicers. Also, copy all three items, go back to the dashboard, and let me paste it on this side instead. Let me go to the next one, which is okay, we just payment method distribution. Copy that, go back to the dashboard, paste, sales by city, go back to the dashboard, paste it, sales by subcategory, copy the charts, go back to your dashboard, paste, and then finally we have sales by region. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone. If I have, I'll come back and get it, but for now let's now resize all of this and fit everything together. Let me start with this one. I'm just going to move this down here, select these two items, let's go to shape format, and we'll make the height 6.75 for both of them. Let me grab this one, and I'm just going to kind of position it here. Let's go to format, and for the width is the width is going to be 12.85, and for this one the width is going to be 15.75. Let me just move it. All right, let's go over to insert, illustrations. We're going to go to shapes, and we're going to select a rounded corners rectangle, and I'm just going to draw this here. Let's change the fill color to this blue, and we're going to select no outline. Height is going to be 6.75, and the width is going to be 6.25. And I'm just going to move this in, and let me just increase this so we have, let's say, something that is closer to what we have on this edge. I'm just trying to, okay, now I'm just going to move this here so that I can align it to this one. I want to select this rectangle, and then I'm going to select this blue rectangle, go to align, and we're going to align right. Select this rectangle again, select this chart, align left. Now I'm going to select these three, and I'm going to go to shape format. We're going to align top, go to align once more, and distribute horizontally. So we should have something like this. Now this rectangle is for our slicers. Let me grab my slicers, which are these two. I'm going to select these two and bring them here. So while these two are selected, let's just change our dimensions. Let's go to slicer. Height is going to be 2.7 and width is going to be 5.75. Let's grab customer segments will be okay. The rectangle is on top of this, no worries. Let's select, let's say slicer, any of the elements will do. And now come over to this item, which is selection pane. So I'm currently selected on customer segment. I'll just bring it to the top. Select this one, and I'm also going to bring it to the top. And I can just close this. Let's go back to this. I'm going to bring this here. Same with this one. I'm going to bring it here. Let me move this one, like let's say something like this one, to go for as close to equal spacing at the top and bottom. If you want to group it then center it, that's fine, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to select all three of these. Go to either slicer or shape format, anyone will do. We want to use the align function, and we're going to align center. And we have this. Let's move on to this. This is what the first row of visuals and then the slicers look like. Let's go to the second row. Let's start with this one. I'm just going to move this here. Then I'm going to grab this chart, which is profit by category, and I'm going to bring it here, and I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to grab payment method distribution. I'm going to select all three charts, go to shape format, and let's change the height to 6.25. Now select sales trend, and we're going to change the width to 16.35. Profit by category is going to be 11 for width, and payment method distribution is going to be 7.45 for the width. And I'm just going to move this, and I'm bringing it towards the right so I can align it to the left. I just want to see if the spacing, maybe I'll move it a bit. Okay, so I'll just move this one a little to the left, much more to the left, and I'm going to bring it down a bit so I can align it to this one. So I'll start here, select this two, shape format, I'm going to align left. Let's select this two, and I'm going to align right. Next, select all three charts, go to shape format, align top, and go to align again and distribute horizontally. And yeah, this is the second row. Now let's work on the final row. Going to move this one here. Sales by subcategory is going to be here, and then we have sales by region, and I'm going to put it here. Let me select all three charts, go to shape format, and we're going to change the height to 6.5. Now let's select these two, shape format once again. We're going to change the width of these two to 11.15, and select this one, change the width to 12.5. I'm going to bring this one just down a bit, and I'm also going to bring this one a little lower than this one so that I can line it. So what I'm going to do, let me just use my arrow keys. We may have to distribute things again because we're having a lot more space at the bottom here than we have on the top. No worries. Select this two, go to shape format, align left, come over to this side, select this chart and this one, go to shape format, align, and we're going to align right. Now select all three charts, shape format, go to align and then align top, and then finally distribute horizontally. So as I said earlier, we have a lot more space at the bottom than we have at the top. So what we're just going to do is move everything essentially. So I'm going to, let me start with this top row. I'm just going to select everything and I'll use my arrow key to just move this down, select the items on this second row, move things down a bit here, going to come down, same with this one, move it down a bit, come to this bottom row and I'm going to move this down a bit. Let me see if I feel like we have more space here than we do on top. Select all of this. If yours looks good to you, you can leave it as it is. Okay, so this is what we have. We have something like this. Now let's report the connections for slicers. So remember, we created the slicers in the profits by category section, so that's why the slicer is only affecting it, but we can modify the slicer so that it can affect the entire dashboard. Let me even zoom out even more. This is a very large dashboard, but let's just modify this dashboard. I want you to see how everything changes as I'll select things on the slicer when I report connections. So select the slicer, go to slicers, and we're going to report connections. This is going to be this is customer segment slicer, so want it to, yes, affect the KPIs, payment method, profits by states, region, sales by city, sales by SOR, subcategory, and sales trend. I think that should work fine. And now when I select, even our KPIs are changing, so we can see just the sales for, let's say, sales by store, profit, states for each category. If I change it to corporate, you can see that even the payment method, everything including the region, is also going to change. This dashboard is really large, so even now that I don't want to zoom out even more. It's already difficult to see, so I don't want to reduce it again. So let's now do the same for states. Go to report connections, same thing, report. We're going to select KPIs, payment method. Let's leave states because we are already working with states. Let's also leave city. I don't think there's any need to select city. If you want to, you can. Let me select region, why not? Let's do store, subcategory, and sales trend, and I'm going to click on OK. Now if I select California, so this region that falls, now you can see that this west region falls under the California section, so it's only showing the trend for, let's change it to Florida, and you can see that it's changing, and KPIs are also, let me change it to a different state, and yeah, that is what it looks like. You can see all the KPIs changing and all the other elements within the dashboard also changing as well. So if you want to add other elements, you want to change things around, you want to move things around, that's what I'll always encourage you to do with my tutorials. So just go ahead and move things around. If you don't like the colors, if you don't like the shapes, if you don't like anything about it, you can change it and try something different. But anyway, we are done with this tutorial, and that's it for the end for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.